Child, sit down for a moment because what I'm about to tell you isn't just a story about a cruise. It's a story about family, betrayal, pain, and a truth that can break or rebuild a home. My name is Loretta May, and until last summer, I believed my life was quiet, simple, predictable, steady as an old gospel hymn. But life has a way of surprising you, especially when the people you love the most are the ones who hurt you the deepest. It all began on a warm Wednesday morning when the sunlight spilled across my kitchen table and a soft breeze drifted in through the open window while I stirred my grits, humming the same church song my mama used to hum, when suddenly my phone buzzed and I wiped my hands on a towel and picked it up, only to see a picture from my daughter-in-law Rachel, her and my son Marcus standing in front of a massive white cruise ship, both smiling big, both holding matching suitcases like two children heading off to summer camp. And beneath the picture were the words, "Wish us luck, Mom, heading out for a 12-day Caribbean cruise." And child, I stared at that message for a long, painful moment because I didn't even know they were planning a trip. I didn't know they were leaving. I didn't know they had thought about 12 days on the ocean without thinking once about me. And as the shock settled in, my heart cracked because the memories came flooding back. Raising Marcus alone, working double shifts to keep food on the table, helping Rachel when she moved in and didn't know how to start a life. And now, after all that, I wasn't worth a simple invitation, not even a conversation. I typed a reply and deleted it, typed again and deleted it, until finally I just wrote, "Have a safe trip," simple and polite on the outside, while inside I was slowly breaking. And as the days passed, those 12 days felt like 12 months as the house grew quieter than ever, so quiet I could hear the ticking of the clock echo against the walls. And I found myself cleaning rooms that were already clean, gardening until my knees ached, opening old photo albums just to feel connected to someone, anything. And every night I sat on the porch with a cup of tea, whispering to the wind, "Lord, what did I do wrong? Why didn't they want me? Am I too old? Am I a burden now?" Because a mother's heart aches silently but deeply, and the weight of that silence pressed on me day after day. Then, 3 days before they were supposed to return, my phone rang with a number I didn't recognize. And when I answered, a gentle, older woman's voice said, "Is this Miss Loretta?" And when I confirmed, she sighed and said she was on the same cruise as my son and his wife. And before I could even ask why she was calling, she said, "Baby, I don't want to meddle, but you deserve to know the truth." And I felt my chest tighten as she told me she had watched Rachel all week, watched her laughing with strangers while speaking unkind things about me, saying I was too attached to Marcus, saying I was a burden, saying this cruise was an escape from me. And the worst part was that Marcus heard it, heard every word, yet stayed silent. And child, when she said that, it felt like someone reached into my chest and squeezed my heart, because I could understand Rachel not liking me, but my son staying silent, that tore something inside me that I didn't know could still tear. After the woman hung up, I sat at my kitchen table, phone in hand, tears falling onto my lap as I cried the kind of cry that comes from years of sacrifice, years of love, years of trying, only to feel unseen, unappreciated, unwanted. And while I cried, I knew I couldn't tell Marcus because I had been hiding something myself. For months, I had been battling a heart condition, one the doctors warned me to watch carefully, one that made my chest ache and my breath shorten. But I hid it because I didn't want Marcus to worry, didn't want him to pity me, didn't want him to put his life on pause for me. So I pretended I was fine, strong, healthy. But now that lie became the reason he assumed I didn't need him. And because of that, he left me behind. And that truth stung. When the cruise finally ended and Marcus called saying they would stop by with gifts, I forced a smile, but my heart trembled. And that evening when they walked through the door, Marcus hugged me tight, tighter than usual, while Rachel stood behind him with a stiff little smile that never reached her eyes. And when we sat down, Marcus looked at me with a seriousness I hadn't seen in years and asked, "Mom, are you sick?" And my blood ran cold because his voice wasn't angry, it was scared, desperate. And he explained that the woman from the cruise recognized him from my pictures and told him what she had heard, including that I had a heart condition. And suddenly, everything inside me collapsed because I couldn't hide anymore. I couldn't pretend. I couldn't be strong. And with tears filling my eyes, I nodded and admitted I had been struggling, that I didn't want to burden him. And child, that boy broke down right in front of me, crying like he did when he was 5 years old, saying, "Mom, why didn't you tell me? It's my turn to take care of you." And while Rachel sat stiff and uncomfortable, Marcus turned to her and said, "I told you last month she wasn't feeling well, and you said she was exaggerating." And Rachel's face froze because she knew he remembered, and their argument exploded like thunder, Rachel crying, saying she wanted time alone, saying I was always around, and Marcus shouting back that I raised him alone, that I sacrificed everything, that I deserved respect, not dismissal. And when Rachel shouted that he always chose me over her, Marcus said calmly but firmly, "Choosing my mother is not betrayal, but abandoning her is." And Rachel, unable to respond, stormed out of the house in anger, leaving Marcus to sit beside me with tears running down his cheeks as he apologized again and again, saying he should have protected me, should have listened, should have invited me. And in that moment, I took his hand and said, "Baby, I don't need cruises or gifts. I just need you to remember that I loved you first." And he hugged me so tightly, I felt a warmth I hadn't felt in years. In the weeks that followed, Marcus truly changed. He came every day, drove me to my appointments, learned everything about my condition, cooked meals, cleaned rooms, insisted I rest. And for the first time in a long time, I felt cared for, seen, valued. And as for Rachel, she tried to come back, tried to apologize, tried to cry her way back into comfort. But Marcus didn't bend. He didn't yell or insult her. He simply said, "If you want a future with me, you must respect my mother. She comes with me always." And something in Rachel shifted as she realized he meant it, and slowly she understood her wrongs. Weeks later, Marcus sat beside me on the porch and confessed that the cruise changed him, that watching families honor their parents made him realize how blind he had been, how deeply he had failed me. And I touched his cheek and told him he learned at the right time. And he smiled and said, "Next trip, you're coming with us, no arguments." And I laughed and said, "Only if they serve good sweet tea." And for the first time in months, we laughed together, truly laughed, as peace slowly returned to our home.